Nbs Frontline.
The nomination dust has barely settled, and already the Ugandan political theatre is in full swing, serving equal parts drama, déjà vu and nostalgia. And season on the right foot or just jogging in circles.
Poverty is on increase with the youth. They tell the youth are taking marijuana, but they're taking it not because they want, but because they're unemployed.
We must build systems where everybody is below the law, including the president of the country.
Yet as even crowds gather and chants rise, there's an uneasy air lingering between the two most competitive camps. But beyond the nomination frenzy, is the election season kicking off on the right tone? Are all presidential candidates focused on the most crucial questions of the day? This is The Frontline.
Oh, what a season. Starting off with an exercise, a nomination exercise, dogged in quite a number of questions on the criteria of disqualification of some of the candidates and how some candidates actually made it on the list, on the nomination list at the last minute. A number of other questions are rising, especially on the kind of election that Ugandans are braced for. Could it be a fierce election or just another election, more of the same? And could it also turn out to be a two-horse race pitting President Museveni, who is making it for the 7th term, against Robert Kyagulanyi, who made a dramatic second comeback? And what does this second comeback portend for the campaigns? We'll also be asking what other candidates mean to this election. Welcome. I'm joined tonight by Honorable Salam Musumba from the PFF that never fielded a candidate. We'll also be speaking to Honorable Chris Baryomunsi, the Minister for Information and National Guidance, plus the man who you would say is in the kitchen, Honorable Norbert Mao, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, and the President General of the Democratic Party, who chose to support President Museveni in the 2026 bid. Welcome and a very good evening.
Thank you very much.
Well, Honorable Mao, we are getting into another election without the electoral reforms that you hyped when you were joining government. How unfortunate is it?
I've had a lot of complaints about electoral reforms, and to the best of my knowledge, it is not just about electoral reforms. I think we should broaden your question. The question is, how can we improve the quality of our democracy? And that is not just about elections. It is also about the political culture.
Are you changing your tone? Initially, you're hyping electoral reforms.
I believe in electoral reforms, but I'm just trying to contextualize what I think matters most. For instance, if we do not change our political culture, where we respect each other, where we accept that we can agree and even agree to disagree, no matter the electoral reforms. So the problems of our elections is not so much about the laws. the laws are largely okay. In fact, our fundamental proposal as the Democratic Party has been to change the electoral system, and our proposals are on the table. I'm not a dictator. I don't run the government alone. I am not the only person involved in this, and the media likes making it appear as if I have a switch in my office and I can switch on electoral reforms or I can switch it off. The executive in which I sit has a head, and he has all the proposals that are needed.
You said the executive lacked appetite for reforms.
If the executive had the appetite for the proposals we made, remember the proposals we made about changing the voting system were put on the back burner by none other than the president himself, namely proportional representation, which would solve actually our biggest problem, a bloated parliament which is outsized and where some votes are rendered irrelevant. If you can have members of parliament who are sworn in with less than 30% of the vote just because there are many candidates in the field, to me those are important reforms, and I'll continue advocating for them. So what I do is not called hyping. It is called advocating, but I need the support of other people in the government.
For now, do you feel a sense of frustration that what you pushed for has not come to fruition at least sanitize the 2026 elections?
If the likes of you had been solidly behind me, instead of spending a lot of time abusing me, I think even the government would have been persuaded. But if you spend all the time talking as if my efforts are not useful, then you also weaken my arm inside the government.
Okay, generally speaking, did you promise Ugandans hot air? These are what the things you promised: getting the prisoners, political prisoners out, instituting electoral reforms, kickstarting a debate on transition. Nothing has come to pass.
Kagwanjala, you are notorious for putting words in people's mouth. As you people who are in jail, the vast majority is out. We did that. Number two, for the so-called political prisoners, we started pushing for them to be released even before I became a minister. You remember the iPod summit where we sat in Kololo after the 2021 elections, and many more are being released. We believe that if the state has a case, then they should go and quickly prove it in the court. So it cannot be that a minister of justice can promise to free prisoners.
You promised more than what you could deliver.
The promises are by two parties, as you know. Because when you have an agreement, you make a promise. And in that promise, you work towards it, but broad terms. And that's by setting an agenda, you feel a sense that you are mobilizing. But I wish I was not preaching to people who are deliberately deaf. They hear, but they don't want to appreciate. But I will not give up, because
who are you referring to?
The likes of you.
Or the government you're serving?
I think it is mainly the people who know that these are good ideas. If you mix up the message and the messenger, you lose up on a good thing.
Very interesting. I'll hold you there. We need to engage Right Honorable Robin Anabanja, the Prime Minister, who is also speaking to us. Thank you for joining us on the front line tonight, Honorable. And well, you're all charged to get President Museveni clinch a seventh term as president. What are you presenting to the country? What kind of candidate, and what is the promise?
Yes, as I know, you know, I derive my powers from Article 108 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as a leader of government business in Parliament. And you know that I head the implementation of government programs, projects across the country. But before that, allow me to bring you warm greetings from His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. The President of the Republic of Uganda wishes you all prosperity. I join all Ugandans to congratulate him for being nominated as our NRM presidential candidate for yet another term. You talked of 7th. That is 2026-2031. And I thank thousands of Ugandans who attended our nomination rally at Kororo on Tuesday, 23rd September 2025. As you are aware, that big crowd that you saw came from different parts of Uganda. And to me, that's a signal that NRM continues to enjoy majority support across this country. And this is because of a number of things. One, peace and security. The NRM has established and maintained peace and security across the country. You cannot talk about development, democracy, and many other things without peace and security. Kagwanjala, isn't that so? To me, that's a plus and a tick to NRM. Road infrastructure, the entire country is now interconnected by tarmac roads. And to me, the stock of tarmac roads has increased, and everybody is aware that it has increased to 6,199 kilometers from 114 kilometers, which were in a fair state when NRM took power in 1986. This is not a mean achievement. And of course, you are aware that all districts across the country have a road unit, and we support them with 1 billion Uganda shillings to work on their roads. Under the health services, Uganda's life expectancy has increased, I know you are aware, to 68 years from 43 years in 1998. This has been made possible because of a number of things. Basically, significant investments in the health sector. The health services, you are aware of mass immunization programs, increased education levels, better housing conditions, better road network, like I've already told you, increased the preventive health care services. People know how to behave. They know how to do exercise. Currently, 91% of Ugandans live within a radius of 5 kilometers to a health facility. Today I was in Kayunga, and in Kayunga district, every sub-county has a health center 3. Every constituency in Kayunga has a health center 4. By the way, in Kayunga, they have a regional hospital. That's why this afternoon I told you that a regional hospital which has an oxygen plant. One of our younger people the other day asked the president whether that facility is working. I was there today. The plant is functional. In fact, they are serving the whole region. The literacy level in Uganda is now at 74%, according to the 2024 National Housing Census, compared to 43% in 1986. Infant mortality, let me talk about the children who die before the age of 5. The infant death has declined to 36%, or 36 per 1,000 live births, from 88 deaths per Uganda have declined to 16.1%, that is in 2024, from 20 0.3% in 2019, according to 2024 National Housing Survey. Let me talk about power generation. We are generating 2,065 megawatts of power, and this is up from 60 megawatts in 1986. Under the education sector, since the introduction of UPE, you are aware, the number of pupils in government-aided primary schools has increased from 3 million to 8,824,923,000 pupils now. And over the years, the NRM has laid a very big foundation. Our focus, like you have asked me, for the next 5 years and beyond, because you know NRM is going beyond 2031. We intend to expand the size of our economy threefold, from the current 63 billion US dollars to 500 billion US dollars by 2040. And this is possible because we are focusing on agro-industrialization. With PDM in place, you know we have given people support. We know we now need agro-industrialization so that we can add value to the products that are coming from by the producers we have under PDM and other producers. We are talking about tourism development. We have mineral-based industrial development, which we are focusing on, science, technology, innovation, and this will help us to ease the cost of doing business. We will continue to maintain the new manifesto going forward. We shall have increased access to the continental and regional markets. That's our focus. We need to skill our youth, and we shall definitely do more. Under the Ministry of Health, we need to complete the construction of all the health center 3s. For example, Mukono has 38 health center, has 38 health facilities. But out of the 36, 13 are health center 3s, and 2 are health center 4s, with that district hospital which is over congested. I believe if we updo irrigation so that we can produce throughout the year and many other things. I know my boss will talk about many things on 29th. Thank you so much.
How do you feel that in 2025 we have an all-male race without a woman? You are being propped by the affirmative action, and there is no female presidential candidate.
That this time round, maybe it was not possible for our fellow women because of a number of things. One, it required the people to have networks across the country. Maybe my sisters did not. Maybe next time.
Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi, Bobi Wine, is returning to the fray. Are you looking at a showdown with him?
Not a big threat. Yes, he's not. We don't look at him as a threat, as NRM. We don't look at him as a threat. That's all I can say.